Another important topic in macroeconomics is learning and understanding these three terms: consumption, savings, at investment. Yun yung pag-uusapan natin sa araw na ito. Paano ba nakakaapekto ang consumption, savings, and investments sa ekonomiya ng Pilipinas? And ano yung relationship ng tatlong concepts na ito sa ating economy? If we can understand yung effect ng consumption, savings, at saka investment sa ekonomiya ng Pilipinas, mas magkakaroon tayo ng mas malinaw na grasp sa mga macroeconomic concepts. No, don't fear. Sa simula, akala natin complicated itong topic na to. But I will simplify it to you in a way na very straightforward. May intindihan nyo agad-agad yung effect ng consumption, savings, and investment. And ano ba yung interaction nito sa income, okay, or sa ekonomiya ng ating bansa. Now, to give you a more appreciation on what these three terms are, I would like to present to you this illustration. So sa illustration na to, nakikita natin yung relationship nung tatlo: consumption, savings, at investment. Magsisimula lahat-lahat sa income. Ang mga tao sa bansa, lahat po yan ay kumikita ng income. Okay? More particularly when we talk about household income. Kapag ang isang pamilya ay nagtatrabaho or nagnenegosyo, nagkakaroon yan ng income na ginagamit niya ngayon in theory, okay? Na ginagamit niya ngayon in two different ways. Or basically, yung income ng mga tao sa isang bansa is divided or allocated in two ways. Part of the income of a country will go through consumption. So yung mga household, bibili yan ng mga goods and services na gagamitin nila sa kanilang bahay or sa kanilang pang-araw-araw na buhay. So that's consumption. Pero hindi lahat nagiging consumption lang, right? Kapag ikaw ay isang rational na citizen ng isang bansa, part of your income gagamitin mo to buy goods and services. But the other part of your income, you will also put it in banks as a form of savings. So sinasabi sa illustration na to, ang income daw ng mga tao sa isang bansa ay nahahati sa dalawa. Part of which gagamitin niya to buy goods and services through consumption, and part of which ilalagay niya sa bangko para maging savings. Ngayon, saan papasok si investment? Papasok si investment dito. Kasi kung ano yung inilagay ng tao na savings niya, na part ng kanyang income, yun ngayon yung ipapahiram ng mga bangko sa iba't ibang mga negosyo so that they can invest and expand on their operations. So yun yung interaction ng tatlong ito. Lahat nagsisimula sa income. Yung income nahahati sa either consumption and savings. Tapos yung pera na nasa bangko, yun yung pinapahiram ng mga bangko sa iba't ibang mga negosyo so that they can invest on expanding their operation. So if you have higher consumption here and higher investment here, that would mean you will have a higher gross domestic product. Now that we know the relationship of consumption, savings, and investment, let's talk about individually and in-depth, palalimin natin yung ating pagkakaintindi sa consumption, savings, at investment. Unahin natin sa consumption. And when we try to understand consumption, we understand it mathematically through what we call the consumption function. So ano ba kasi ang sinasabi ng consumption function? So sa consumption function, tinitignan natin yung relationship ng dalawang factor. We are looking at the relationship of, first of, disposable income and amount of consumption. So tinitignan natin, ano ba yung relasyon ng disposable income sa consumption ng mga household? Kapag ba tumaas ang income, tumataas rin ang consumption. Kapag bumaba ang income, bumababa rin ba ang consumption? But these are the two variables that we are comparing in order to know the level of consumption in our country. Now, take note, ang tinitignan natin na factor dito is not merely income. So, hindi lang po income, but rather disposable income. Ano ba ang pinagkaiba ng income sa disposable income? Now, when we say income, marami kasi sa atin ang mako-confuse and might define income as total income. Pero hindi po. We have to remember that when we talk about disposable income, this is income less total taxes na binabayaran ng tao sa kanyang government. So ito lang yung income na madalas ginagamit by household to purchase goods and services that they need. Ano ang formula ng ating consumption function, by the way? The formula is this. Your consumption is equal to A plus B, Y. And ano yung ibig sabihin ng mga letters na nandyan? So C stands for your consumption expenditure. Ito yon. Ano ba yung level of consumption? A stands for autonomous consumption. Pag sinabi nating autonomous consumption, ano ba yung consumption kapag ang income ay zero? So, kapag ba walang pera ang isang Pinoy, ibig bang sabihin yan, hindi na siya bibili? Hindi, di ba? So, kahit na ang isang Pinoy ay walang pera, mangungutang yan in order to fulfill yung kanyang needs and wants. Kasi kapag hindi siya bibili, hindi siya mabubuhay. So, meron pa ring autonomous consumption kahit na ang income ay zero. Letter B stands for what we call as the marginal propensity to consume. Ano ang marginal propensity to consume? With the word again, marginal. We're looking at the additional consumption. So sa marginal propensity to consume, we are looking at the additional consumption. Magkano ba ang naidadagdag sa kanyang consumption expense kapag ang kanyang income ay nagbabago ng piso? So think of it this way. Every time na nadadagdagan ng piso ang income ng isang Pinoy, magkano yung naidadagdag na consumption expenses niya? Okay? So for every change in peso, how much consumption expense is changing? So that's the marginal propensity to consume. And finally, we have Y here, which is the disposable income. Again, disposable income po yan. That's total income minus tax. Now, what can you derive from the relationship of consumption and income? So, base dito sa mathematical formula, we can see that there is actually a positive relationship between consumption and income. In other words, kapag ang income ay tumataas, ang consumption ay tumataas rin. Ang tanong, tumataas kapag ba 1% tumaas ang income, tataas rin ang consumption by 1% as well? In theory, not necessarily. Kasi nga sabi natin, ang income nahahati yan sa dalawa. Yes, kapag tumaas ang income, maaaring tumaas ang consumption, but they are not in the same level. Why? Kasi part of the income of your consumer will be deposited as savings. Now, let's talk about more into this, marginal propensity to consume. Ano ba to? And how are we going to get the value of our marginal propensity to consume? Remember, yung ating income ay nahahati sa dalawa. Consumption at savings, right? So para mas maintindihan natin itong marginal propensity to consume and yung kanyang partner na si marginal propensity to save, let's look at income. Kapag ang income ng household natin ay piso, Ano yung hatian between consumption and savings? So kapag sinabi natin, let's say, na kapag ang income ay piso tapos ang consumption expense is 0.5 or 50 cents, ang marginal propensity to consume is 0.5. Ang tanong, ano naman ang marginal propensity to save? So kung 50 cents yung ginamit niya na panggastos for household expenses, ilan na lang yung tira na pwedeng isave? Natural, 0.5 rin. You always have to remember, guys, that your MPC plus your MPS, your marginal propensity to consume plus your marginal propensity to save, is always equal to 1 or it's always equal to piso. So kapag ang MPC is 0.5, automatic ang MPS mo is 0.5. Kapag ang MPS mo is 0.25, ang MPC mo 0.75. Always, your MPC plus your MPS will always equal to 1. In our formula sa consumption function, yung B natin dyan is what? It is our marginal propensity to consume. So sa bawat piso na pagbabago, ano yung pagbabago sa consumption expense ni household? As I have said earlier, ito ang relationship ng consumption sa income. As income increases, consumption also increases. But then again, hindi po lahat ng additional disposable income is spent. Why? Because some of that disposable income is being saved in our banks. Tapos yun yung ipapahiram na ngayon ng bangko sa iba't ibang mga negosyo so that they can start investing in their expansion. In any ways, more to that later on. But let's talk about how to solve for the consumption. So here's an exercise. Let's say you have Bob. And si Bob ay may total income. So meron siyang total income na Bob's income is 10,000 pesos. 10K. Tapos may taxes. How much is the tax? The tax is 1K. So if total income is 10K, tapos yung tax niya is 1K, magkano ang kanyang disposable income? Sabi natin, ang disposable income is total income minus taxes. So you now have a disposable income of 9K. So that's a given. Bob has a disposable income of 9K. No, sabi rin dito, ang kanyang autonomous consumption or yung kanyang consumption when income is 0, here, ang kanyang autonomous consumption is 500. Ano pa yung provide? Marginal propensity to consume. So sa bawat piso daw na dagdag sa kanyang income, siya ay gumagastos ng 0.75 or 75 cents. So ang kanyang B, which is the marginal propensity to consume, is 0.75. Now, let's compute for Bob's consumption. Again, ang formula ng consumption is C is equal to A plus BY. C is equal to, ano yung A natin? Ang autonomous consumption is 500 plus, what is MPC? It's B. And then, yung ating Y na disposable income is this one, 9,000. Ang B is 0. Burahin ko lang to. Ang B niya ay 0.75. Okay. So let's compute. 500 plus what is 0.75 times 9,000? So get your calculator. Input mo yung number, 0.75 times 9,000. You get 6,750. Ano na ngayon yung kanyang consumption? 6,750 plus 500. You now get a consumption of 7,250. So what is the number telling us? The number is telling us na si Bob na may disposable income na 9,000, nasa bawat piso, 75 cents ang kanyang ginagastos at may 500 siyang autonomous consumption, ang kanyang consumption level is 7,250. When we're talking about consumption function, there are also two types of consumption function. And primarily, yung two types na to is being indicated by either kung yung MPC mo ay fix at each level of income or nagbabago at each level of income. So, magtitake ka ba ng licensure exam for agriculturists this year? If yes, I believe my course is for you. Enroll now at Learning Agri Withal modular course by clicking the link below. Ano pang hinihintay mo? Mag-enroll ka na. Samahan kita mag-review. Bye!